Warning! This episode contains adult language, mature situations, post-apocalyptic environments, two precocious main characters, macabre humor in a sad situation, basic horror tropes, some new manga news, and the existential crisis and questions of a curse. Listener discretion is advised. Episode 402, Sadako At The End of the World. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Spiraken Manga Reviews, some podcasts and manga reviews about connectly enhanced narratives. I'm your host Zan, saying konnichiwa, aloha, bonjour, and what's up? Hope all of you are doing good during this very weird time that we're in right now. I'm surprised that 2021 is seeming the same thing as 2020. Hopefully it's just the beginning and things smooth out. But this is not that type of podcast. This is a podcast where we talk about fun, random things. And if you're joining us for the first time, welcome. As I said before, Spiraken is some podcasts inventing reviews about connectly enhanced narratives. Every episode, we talk about one or two geeky topics. Since this is the manga review, obviously we're talking about manga. And I tell you the pros and cons about it, how the art style is, the overarching plot, the characters, the design, the actual print quality, and more importantly, if it's worth investing your time in or not. You don't have to agree with anything that I and my co-hosts say, but we try to be educational, enlightening, exciting, and most importantly, entertaining. You can check out any of our earlier episodes at www.spiraken.com. That's spiraken.com. We're also on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iTunes, Spotify, the Alexa app, and various other social media sites. Just type in SPIRAKN. I guarantee you'll find us one way or the other. And if you have been enjoying our content, I'll let you know that we are releasing tomorrow our newest podcast in two forms. That is the Spiraken Book Corner Review, which is a revitalization of the Spiraken Book Club. What we've done now is we've split it up into two different types of shows. If you see the general review, that's going to be on actual video. Yes, you're going to see my ugly mug, or handsome mug, if you ask Greta, on video at youtube.com/Spiraken. And then we have an audio interview between me and someone else as we discuss the books in question. Our first book is Dune, and like I said, check out our YouTube channel, like, subscribe, and let us know what you think. So now, let's get to the actual manga news, because I'm really excited because we've had some really cool stuff going on so far. Oh, before I forget, last thing. If you want, you can email me personally at zan@spiraken.com if you want to leave any comments, concerns, or recommend any manga for me to review, or you can join our Discord site at tinyurl.com/SpiraDiscord. That's SPIRADISCORD. Join and you can actually recommend mangas for me to review, talk about any of the other podcasts, or join the community. Remember to like and subscribe, and like I said, let's get to the manga news because we've got some interesting stuff that happened this week. The first thing is kind of big, but kind of cool as well. And that is that sometime in the near future, Saya Sai's Nishi Okikubo Mitsuboshi Yoshudo manga is inspiring a television adaptation. Now, Nishi Okikubo is a manga that centers around a hole-in-the-wall bar that has a handsome bartender and a silent chef. The bartender serves cocktails as he gives an ear to patrons' problems, while the chef serves delicacies made from the simplest canned food. So imagine bartender mixed with the silent chef, and that's what you get. This one seems really intriguing and engaging, but we have to wait to see how it goes. I might put the manga on the Wheel of Manga next week if it has an official release. I'm not entirely sure. I'll investigate that. But now, some little bit of weird news. Kodansha has removed Jun Maida's new Neko Karizoku no Naga manga, which is the cat hunting tribe's chef or chief manga, from its list of upcoming books. Now, originally it was listed that this would be released on March 23rd. No word as to why they're doing this. We do know that Jun Maida is currently ill, so it might have something to do with that. Not entirely sure, but we'll see. So now that that's done, let's get to some licensing news, and we've got some interesting ones and some which make me laugh. The first one is Fantastia Inc.'s Futakiya Boys Love Manga app. Yes, they have announced that they are adding 3 new manga titles from Shodensha Publishing to add to their 150 titles they currently have. And surprisingly, this time they did not admit that they're going to try to hit 400 by the end of the year. I think that it may have gotten word that I've been ridiculing them. Not entirely sure, but I digress. So the 3 new titles are at 2500 in Atsuka Volume 2. This is written by Hiroka Natsuno. You have Sneaky Red Volume 3. The creator is The Knot, Thanat. And then finally, we have another series that has no title. It's been blurred out. But these releases will be coming soon, and they'll be announced later this month. So Manga 1, that's Shogakukan's Manga 1 app, is launching 5 isekai manga of the Sekyo Heroine 5 project, or the Strongest Heroine 5 project. And these are going to be released over 5 consecutive days starting on June 18th. And it's going to be including Isekai de Senko no Hakoshi Setero Tomogo ga Shigete Shenjo ni Natere by Yukiyama. You have Akuyaku Reijo 94 Yon Daime no Tenshi wa Heroine Rashi. Chara Guild no Haku Staff wa Tenshi go Ogitsu des. And this is by Toko Tagara. That's coming out on January 19th. You have Heroine Fushi no Akuya Reijo wa Konyaku Haka Shite wa Keke Josu to Tebo Sero. This is by Ichiro Hiragi. That's coming out on January 20th. You have Isekai Tenshi Shito Maho ni Nata no de Slow Life wo Okorete no Mao ga Nagashin Karamasu by Kawaguchi. And this is coming out January 21st. And then you have January 22nd is releasing Suzuka Oda's Akuya Reijo wa Yoro Sugedori Nightingale wo Masasu. Now, these manga represented works were submitted to Kadokawa's Women's Novel Club, Yura Sunday Women's Club, and Pixiv's second Isekai Tenshi Original Manga Contest. As usual, Manga 1, you can read the first chapter for free, and then once you get a subscription, you could read the rest. Okay. Next one is Manga Planet. They've licensed 3 manga titles from Shoujo Comics, SOZO. These titles will be added to its catalog in January. The first one is The Warrior Demigods Champions of Sparta, and these are created by DLE, Sohoko Yamazaki, and Potoras doing the art. This comes out January 26th. And it's about when a farmer living on Sparta's outskirts finds and raises a child abandoned by Spartans, he has no idea that this strange baby would grow to become one of the fiercest warriors the Pillars of Hercules has ever taught. People say that only the most talented Spartan soldiers, called the demigods, Spartans have the god's blessing. Could Pausanias be one of them? This one seems kind of cool, especially because it's dealing with Greek history, so that's cool. You have The Most Sundry Boss in History, again by DLE, story by Sohoku Yamazaki, and art by Tomokichi. This is coming out on January 28th, and the summary is one of the most classic manga tropes is that of the Sundry, a cool, moody, often hot-headed character who uses their wild anger to cover up the soft, affectionate emotions they have bottled up deep inside. Could you imagine the hilarity that would erupt if most of the history's famous women were Sundry and your modern-day boss? Sounds okay. Last one is Egwin and Friends. This is created by Shori Kawana, coming out the 29th of January. And 40-something penguin Egwin would just want nothing more than to laze about at home and do nothing. But unfortunately, life always gets in the way. What are he and his animal friends up to again today? A slice of novel manga. Well, that one could be interesting. Not entirely sure. We'll see, though. Now, the first chapter of each manga will be available for free in Manga Planet Library. Subscribers will be able to read the subsequent chapters. Now, in some general news, in June of this year, 2021, a new Lakota d'Ore manga series will launch in Hojusensho's Lala DX magazine. Now, this new series will portray 4 different parallel endings to the original Lakota d'Ore story, with Kahoko ending up with each of the 4 male leads of the story, Tsuchira, Shimizu, Yonoki, and Hihara. So if you like the concept that we Never Learn came up with, this is doing that. It's going to have parallel endings, and instead of a regular harem series, it's a reverse harem series, so this could be pretty good, especially if you're a fan of La Corda d'Ora. Now, this spring of 2021, Koji Sei has a new manga serialization scheduled. There's a storyboard that's been revealed, but no official title. He did release on Twitter a joke title, which was not decided, by the way. That's Gotoben no waitress de yonai deska. Are quintuplet waitresses not fine? This one seems meh, but whatever. On February 2nd, the sixth and final volume of Chi Senkyu, the creator of Wakako Zako's manga Kako-san, is going to be released on Amazon. Now, the manga focuses on the titular protagonist, Takako-san, whose hearing is slightly more sensitive than average. She works at a cafe and finds satisfaction in being able to be perceptive to people and sounds that are usually lost in the background noise of life. This is a unique series, and if you like Wakako Zako, you're going to like Takako-san. Definitely check it out. So, on January 22nd, mangaka Kira will launch a new manga titled Oh My Dog! Masugi ni Iko Kiki no Bai. And this is going to be released in Shueisha's Office U magazine. And the manga is a successor to Kira's earlier Masugi no Iko manga and will center on a dog-hating protagonist. Now, the original Masugi no Iko chronicled the companionship of the dog Maetaru and his owner, the high school girl Iko. So, we'll see how this goes. Also, on January 22nd in Office U magazine, Erika Sakurazawa will launch a new manga titled Koi wa Okane ga Okane ja Kame Nasan, or Can't Buy Love with Money. Now, the magazine teases the manga with the text, My life that had no excitement, warmth, or wealth will have a big change. I'm intrigued by this one. This one could be really good because Erika Sakurazawa does do really good work. So we'll have to wait and see. And that is the manga news for the week. Surprisingly, not a lot as we're used to. You're usually used to lots of stuff, but it was pretty quick this week. So actually, let's get to it, shall we? Because now we're up to the manga review. And I've got to say, this one I was a little surprised at. Now, if you remember from the last episode, I spun that one, that only, the Wheel of Manga. And it dictated to be there reviewing a manga that was written by Koma Natsumi and supervised by Koji Suzuki. Now, for those of you who are unfamiliar with Koji Suzuki, he is a writer of horror stories, specifically one story in particular known as Ringu, which has been adapted several times as The Ring. Now, this manga was published by Media Factory and released over here by Yen Press. It is a single volume that was released November of 2020, but originally released in Japan in 2019. And the title of this very unique josei comedy horror slice of life supernatural manga is Shumatsu no Sadako, or Sadako at the End of the World. Now, this is a very simple story of two young girls named Ai and Hee-chan. And they live in the post-apocalypse. Something happened. It could have been war. It could have been a disease. You don't know. They don't explain it. But they are messing around with some technology and end up playing a tape on a VCR. And it's the tape from The Ring. So out of the TV comes Sadako to kill these two little girls. However, instead of screaming in fright as this monster comes out, these two little girls are like, wow, this is really cool. Did you know old tapes could do this? No, I didn't know I could do it. This is crazy. Hi. And Sadako's like, what the hell's going on? And they talk to her, and she can't talk back, so they find an old tablet that she touches, and she's able to write with it. So it just makes the words appear, and she introduced herself as, hi, I'm Sadako, and they say, Sada-chan, we live here all alone. We're the last people, I think. We were looking for other people. We're glad we found you. And the little girls think that whenever you put a VCR tape into the VCR and play it, the characters in the movies come out. So they think it's actually like, that's how technology used to work. They're not sure. They're little kids. One's like 15 and one's like 5. They don't really say. But they ask how long Sadako is going to be there with them, and she says 7 days. And they say, well, you could spend time with us and we could play and have fun. And for those of you who are unaware, the whole concept with Sadako and The Ring is that you watch her tape and she will kill you in 7 days unless you show the tape to other people and then spread the myth around. That's how she works. That's how she rolls. However, that's not the case here because it's the end of the world. And the world has ended, or there's no one left. So she's like, what's going to happen now? I mean, when they go, am I going to disappear? Is that my curse is done? She doesn't know. She's having kind of an existential crisis. So she is going to pal around with these two girls over the next 7 days, and what's going to happen. And that's what this manga is about. It's essentially a slice of life of these two little girls going through the post-apocalypse with Sadako-chan, who is like their best friend and their guardian. In the second volume, they were walking around and they find a beautician who survived the apocalypse. And the first thing is she immediately uses her hair to kind of strangle him. And he freaks out saying, listen, I didn't want to kill you. I'm not trying to bother you, but your split ends, they're horrible. Let me fix it. And he wants to make her look nice and pretty. And it goes into the fact that he fixes her up, and then later on, she goes back to hang out with the little girls, and her hair's all messed up again, and she may be covered with blood for reasons. But it's her and the little girls traveling and all the things that happen with it. And there's a couple of other characters that are introduced. I'm not going to spoil them. One of them is a major old school curse that they explain, and it's done really tastefully. The art it's kind of scary and kind of whimsical at the same time. Like when they want Sadako to be scary and horrifying, it's horrifying. But for the most part, it's very melancholy. It's got a sense of sadness to it. At one point, you see evidence of the remnants of people who are gone, and it's shown to someone else, and it gives you that memory of the only reason why I was sticking around was because I was hoping someone survived, and now that I know these people didn't survive, I don't know what to do. And you're looking through the eyes of the little girls who life is an adventure still. They don't realize the ramifications that this is the end of the world, things have ended, bad things are happening, or what's going to happen later. Who's going to survive? Are they going to survive? Can they survive? It's very thought-provoking. Now, the ending is a horror trope twist, and I gotta say that was very clever of it. And what I will say about this is that this is a love letter to Sadako from the Ring. The fact that they got the okay from Suzuki Koji is really impressive. There's even a small mini-comic after the manga is done going over Natsumi Koma visiting the set when they were shooting Sadako, the movie from 2019, and her geeking out about it and how it influenced her. And the ending, the word at the ending is great. It says, after working on this book, I fell in love with Sadako even more than I already had. I wish for nothing more than to assist her with her curse somehow. And that is what this is. It's a love letter to Sadako in a slice of life that takes place at the end of the world. And while it is a little bit more pricey than I expected for a 5-chapter manga, that's less than 130 pages for the main story, I gotta say it is really worth getting. It's just is it $15 good? Not entirely sure. Not a lot happens in it. It's got a very simple, straightforward story that feels like a fairy tale. You have 6 characters throughout the entire story that each have their moment, and it's all very existential. So, simply put, this is a story in a manga, which is if you're a fan of horror, you're a fan of Sadako, specifically The Ring, and you're a fan of slice of life stories. If you're a fan of all of those, this book is perfect for you. If you're not, I still say give it a try. It's very different, and it has this very sick sense of humor to it. Because like I said, Sadako does kill people in this, and it's very nonchalant, I killed that person, and they didn't notice, and oh, womp womp, I'm covered in blood, even though I just got cleaned up. There is also that little melancholy element to it of some of the other characters and what they're going through, including one who I think is my favorite chapter, and I don't want to spoil that story, but it's really powerful, I think. And the art design by Natsumi Koma it's beautiful. It really is. It's simple and beautiful and just works. Very sketch-like, but I gotta say, I would love to see this as a OVA, a one-shot OVA. I think that would be well received. And if anyone who's in Kadokawa hears this, definitely release this as a one-shot anime, I think it would be really well done. I think it would fit so well, especially if you did this just right. And that ending works so much better because the whole concept of Sadako is she comes out of a TV. And if this is an anime and at the end she comes out of the anime, like through parts of it, that would be really creepy and cool. But hey, maybe I'm just spreading the concept of Sadako so she doesn't kill me in 6 days. Maybe that's what I'm doing. Not entirely sure. But, you should check this manga out. And out of our rating system, I have to give Sadako At The End of the World a borrow from a friend and don't return unless offered Pocky. It's a very well done story that doesn't overstay its welcome. It loses points on the fact that even though it has amazing design quality, the cover is excellent and the print quality is great because Yen Press does do an amazing job. $15 for a 130-page book is a little much for me. I would say this is worth $12 or $10 at that. But you're not going to get that production quality for under $15, so makes sense. But this is a borrow from friend, don't return unless offered. It's well done. It's an intriguing story about the existential crisis that a curse has at the end of the world, is if all their victims die. If there's no victims left, does a curse still exist? Or does it dissipate into the ether? What happens? Like I said, I did not spoil or talk about most of the stories because of that reason, but check it out. I think you'll enjoy it. If you've read this or you've been wanting to check it out, let me know what you think. Email me, zan@spiraken.com, or tweet me @Spiraken on your thoughts on Sadako At The End of the World. And speaking of, remember to check out all the other podcasts at www.spiraken.com. We released our latest episode of the James Bond-o-thon, where we talk about Casino Royale, Greta and I. And now that there's news that No Time to Die is getting pushed back again, which really frustrates me, if you have any ideas of what I can do to increase the Bond-a-thon until No Time to Die comes out, let me know. Tweet me @Spiraken. The random question of the day is, do you think that this manga should be made into an OVA? Let me know what you think. Leave the comments in the notes, like and subscribe, and let's get to the manga releases for the day. I'm actually excited because yesterday we had 17 manga titles. That is January 12th, 2021. And the titles that came out, first off, A Man and His Cat, Volume 3 came out. And that is a really weird and awesome series that we reviewed several episodes ago. You have Blood on the Tracks, Volume 4, Bungo Stray Dogs, Volume 17, Case Closed, Volume 77, The Little Series That Could. I'm surprised they're still going. Fiancé of the Wizard, Volume 2, Fly Me to the Moon, Volume 3, which we reviewed in episode 399. How to Draw Star Wars, the manga guide. I've Been Killing Slimes for 300 Years and Maxed Out My Level, Volume 4, the manga. Persona 5, Volume 5. That's kind of a lucky number. Pokemon Sun and Moon, Volume 9. Renee, Volume 37. Sachi's Monstrous Appetite, Volume 2. Splatoon, Volume 11. The Strongest Sage with the Weakest Crest, Volume 3. The Vampire and His Pleasant Companions, Volume 1. Those Not So Sweet Boys, Volume 1, and Yokai Watch, Volume 16. Now, for me personally, the ones that I'm most excited for are Sachi's Monstrous Appetite, Volume 2, Renee, Persona 5, How to Draw Star Wars, and Fly Me to the Moon, and A Man and His Cat. Which of these are you most excited for, or which do you think are really overrated? For me, the one that's really overrated, I think, is Bungo Stray Dogs and Case Closed, Volume 77. I think that Case Closed, while it's really cool and everyone loves Detective Conan, I think that they should have resolved it. But that's me. It's a shonen series that's going to last forever. They're never going to end that. Never. I think that the creator's going to die and they're going to keep going with it. But I don't want to jinx anything. It is a great series. We reviewed it and talked about it. But yeah. Anyway, let me know which of these you didn't like. Remember to like and subscribe. Thank you guys for listening, and let's get to the part that you've all been waiting for, the last part of the episode. And what am I talking about? I'm talking about that one, that only, the Wheel of Manga! Yes, friends, the Wheel of Manga. Except no substitute. What is the Wheel of Manga? The Wheel of Manga is a Wheel of Fortune with 10 slots on it. What I've done is I've assigned a manga title to each of the 10 slots. So when I spin it, whatever number it lands on, the manga that's on that number is the manga I review in the next episode of the Spiraken Manga Review, episode 403. And I've got to say, we've got some great titles on here. We have Wave Listen to Me, Gigant, Chainsaw Man, Wounded Man, Heaven's Design Team, Getter Robo Evolution, Masamune Kun's Revenge, Magical Girl Psyop Asuka, and one other. That is not the order it goes in. I have a different order that you can check out on our Discord at tinyurl.com/Spira Discord. But let's spin Spiraken Review, shall we? Number 1. Whoa. So, in the next episode of the Spiraken Manga Review, I'm reviewing a manga which takes what Madoka Magica did and adds an entirely military flair to it. I'm talking about Magical Girl Psyop Asuka. I've been wanting to read this one for a while. I've only watched the first 2 episodes of the anime series, and I was really intrigued by it. So, I can't wait to read the manga and see if it's as good as it seems, or if it's completely overrated and just the first 2 episodes were good and the rest sucks. We'll find out in the next episode. So, thank you guys for listening. I love doing this podcast. I'm going to keep doing it as long as I can. I hope to be the oldest manga reviewer out there. I hope that all of you are well. Hope you check out the new episode that comes out tomorrow. I hope you check out both versions of it because they're very different. It's not just a re-recording and then a video of the same thing. They're 2 completely different reviews that connect to one. So you got to check out both. One is on YouTube and one is going to be on our website. So let me know what you think. As usual, I am your host, Zan. I'm Gonzville. I'll catch you guys next time. Keep reading manga. See you later.